guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are back here at SEMA for 2024, and I'm very happy to say that Honda is back here at SEMA with their HRC Motorsports brand, and this car right here. What is it? This is a 2025 Acura Integra, and depending on who you ask, this could be an Acura Integra Type R. But before we get into this modded Integra that just makes my heart pitter-patter, let's talk about what's going on here. If you don't know what HRC is, it's Honda Racing Corporation. For many years, HRC was the brand that kind of handled all of the Grand Prix racing days in Formula One, and still does. Obviously, MotoGP and the motorcycles. Here in the States, we had HPD, Honda Performance Development. I'm happy to say that they decided to merge the two together with HRC. And because of that, they're back here at SEMA, and they're back here showcasing what they can do to not only race cars, because I'm surrounded by race cars. I got Max's Formula One car. We have, of course, their IMSA GTP car, and many other race cars here, but also taking that racing and bringing it to the street. So what I want to do is I want to show you all of the special touches of this Integra, and maybe at the end of the video we could talk about, would you want to have something like this to drive every day? Let's go ahead, let's find out, is this the baddest Integra of modern era to be built? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this one and find out. Right off the bat, the look of it, it has that extra width. They've actually taken it, of course, and made it wider, especially when we look at the Integra itself. I remember when the Integra came back out, some people were disappointed. I think with the Type S, and especially with this vehicle here, you're starting to see more of what the fans, the enthusiasts like you and I want. So at the front of the business, you'll see that awesome flared fender actually built into the fender. It's not stuck on at the front. We gotta have that throwback to tradition, to history, with the Integra name stamped in there. Love the way they do the multi-jewel LED beam headlights. You have your chicane daytime running lamps. These are all the design cues that Acura brings to their production vehicles, because remember, it's all about that precision performance, that precision crafted performance. Now, as we work our way down on this vehicle here, you'll notice the totally different lower front fascia. Extra wide, extra functional. I mean, you could easily put, I would say, 2 Big Macs would just slide right into that open area. I like the way that they took the lower corner and created that lip instead of just sticking on a bunch of things. And they also, the way that they curved up the edge gives you that canard on the side to help with airflow, to help with downforce. And all of this is functional. But the way that it looks is just making my heart pitter-patter. And this is Indy Yellow. This was the color that was on the second gen Acura NSX. Sparkles like a freaking beautiful Twinkie that I just want to take a big bite out of. Now, as we come across the front nose, look at that Acura badge, very prominently displayed. We have that upgraded grille to flow more cool air. Our HRC badge, remember, Honda Racing Corporation, and that's what you're going to see global, not just in Europe, not just in Japan, but also here in the United States. On the lower portion, you'll see that they went ahead and they upgraded the intercooler, because we're still dealing with a turbocharged intercooled engine. We have a larger intercooler, and I dig how they took the HRC logo and painted it on that nice bright aluminum intercooler. And then, of course, that full carbon fiber front splitter, because remember, at the end of the day, the things that HRC develops on the racetrack, like I said, they want to bring it to your street car. And things like this, they look good, but these are also functional pieces. On a race car, you don't want air to go underneath the car, because that's going to create lift. So that's why you see the addition of these extra aero pieces to give us the downforce that we need when you're doing your track day, when you're at an autocross event, or your favorite twisty road. But let me know what your thoughts are about the front end of this Acura Integra. To me, it's the chef's kiss. Now, as we rise up, you're gonna get a carbon fiber hood, and the way that they sculpted it, it's one of those things where form equals function. So of course we're gonna have heat extractors and aerodynamic aids that are gonna drag the air from the front of the vehicle out the top of the hood. But also when you look at the function of it, this is one of those cars that not only do you wanna drive, not only do you wanna look at, but you wanna rub your hands all over because it looks that good. Now underneath the hood, we're gonna have that 2-liter turbocharged inline-4, of course, but we're looking at more horsepower. So stock, 320 horsepower. This is expected to have around 375 with some of the goodies that they did underneath that carbon fiber hood. And with the carbon fiber hood and fenders and other pieces that they have, we're shedding over 200 pounds of weight. So that means we have an Integra here, this, what I'm calling a Type R, that weighs about more than 200 pounds less than your standard Integra Type S. That's quite a bit of weight. Now, as we come around those flared fenders, what do we got going on? Absolutely gorgeous forged aluminum wheels. These Titan 7 wheels, love the V-spoke design, the way that it's got the HRC etched in there, and you'll notice that it's not just about performance when it comes to engine performance. A lot of people, that's the easy route. The other ways to performance are the aero, the suspension, and of course, wheels. But the most important thing that I think people do not give credit for when it comes to lap times are tires. And one thing you'll notice is that this Integra that we have here has those Pirelli P0 Trofeo R tires. So we're talking about 265 on the width, 30 series sidewall, and remember that's a 19-inch wheel. You have that banana yellow 6-piston Brembo caliper. The rotors have been enlarged to 15 inches in diameter. You got your aluminum hat, slotted rotor, because remember, we don't want heat buildup on the brakes. So by having the 2-piece rotor, by having the slotted rotor, and by having more pistons to grip on that disc, it's gonna shed speed like a husky sheds hair. But let me know what you think about the style of the wheel. I'm in love with it. Still front-wheel drive, remember. Front-wheel drive, Integra, that's how it is. Now I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and show off the aero with the flared fender, and then working our way down how they've etched out that lower portion to channel the air down the side of the vehicle. Up top, remember, no sunroof. You can't get an Integra Type S with a sunroof. I'm okay with that because it's all about rigidity. You don't want to have a big gaping hole in the roof. That's going to add extra weight from all the mechanisms. You want to lower that center of gravity. Obviously, this car's sitting on coil springs, adjustable dampers, all 4 corners. And you'll also notice, I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing back around and show you the adjustable camber plates. How do I know that there's adjustable camber plates without opening up the hood? Look at the angle of the wheel. You see how the top is tilted in? That's giving us the camber to make this car handle like a hot knife through butter, a big tub of butter. Now, working our way towards the rear, we have carbon fiber rear door panels. And wait until we have, I show you what's on the interior. Coming towards the rear of the car, of course, we have beefed up the rear brakes. The wheels look absolutely spectacular. And then as we swing it out wide, we have downforce up front. You gotta have downforce out back. We have this full carbon fiber rear wing, and I love the way it's that nice clean pedestal style, the HRC racing badge, and then dropping it like it's hot, and this is really hot, we have that triple outlet exhaust, Borla exhaust, catback exhaust, gonna give us some great sound, but it also gives it a great look. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the next step. Let's get inside and see what this Integra is all about. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 Integra Type R. It's amazing because on the exterior, it looks fantastic. You don't need more than 400 horsepower on the street for this car because it handles so well. And with the 6-speed manual, I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, how much would something like this cost? I think something like this would probably cost, and I know that it's gonna sound crazy, is right around $70,000. I mean, a stock Integra Type S is around, what, $53,000 now? So with all the modifications, and wait until you see what's in the back, $70,000 to $75,000. May sound like a crazy amount of money for an Integra, but this car is meant for the enthusiasts. It's not meant for somebody to sell their Porsche 911 and get an Integra. That's what the purpose of this. This is for the enthusiasts, the ones that want that Type R. But let's see what Acura has done to the interior, to the door panels. What I love is you have production used parts, soft touch material, the Alcantara. Look at the way they brought the yellow stitching to the interior. Aluminum speaker grill cover. Who the hell's gonna need a radio in this thing? You're gonna be nuts to have a radio in here. And then of course we got a good sized door pocket. Easily get, I would say, 5 to 6 Pop-Tarts, no problem, and some Nestle Quick. Now going from the door panel to the dash, real deal carbon fiber. Love the yellow accents. Slide on in, what do you got? You got your production 9-inch infotainment system. Love the way they did these anodized yellow accents. Our AC controls, dual climate, wireless charging. Obviously I can't start up the car because we're at the convention center, but then you have that titanium shift knob with the gear pattern on there. Look at this, hot knife through butter. The Alcantara, the yellow stitching. This really is probably one of the best gearboxes next to a Porsche 911 GT3 in the modern era. That's how good this gearbox is. 2 large cup holders, and then of course we got more stitching. Open this up. This is where you're gonna have all of the tiers of those that decided to go buy, say, an Elantra N or a GR Corolla and not get the Integra. Those are the tiers you're gonna put in there in a jar, and then you could drink it. Seats, oh my God. Full carbon fiber buckets for Carl with the HRC embroidery. Working our way down, look at how they grip you. Of course, all manual adjustments, very light seats. And then we have the bright yellow, Twinkie yellow seat belts worth an extra 5 horsepower. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I got an Alcantara wrap steering wheel I wanna show you. All right guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your aluminum sill plate looking good. And then my favorite part has got to be the triple pedals. Nice to have that manual transmission. You could do your own heel toe downshifting very easily. I just wish they would give us an aluminum dead pedal. Come on, HRC, that's a zonk. But boy, oh boy, look at the way the seats are bolted to the floor. The Recaro name there, the carbon fiber. I'm 6 feet tall. I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this car. I'm in love with this car. Sorry, Lori. I'm in love with this car. Absolutely phenomenal. The steering wheel, the Alcantara, look at the contrast stitching, obviously manual adjustment up and down, forward and back, and then you do have that 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, which I can't show you because we're inside the convention center. But why don't we go ahead, let's open up those rear carbon fiber doors, because I have something that's gonna freaking turn your brain to mush after you see it. Let's check it out. All right guys, doing this a little different because wait until you see what we have here. Dropping our way down, removal of the rear seat. Now, before I show you any of this, I'm gonna have Steven back up and show you the full carbon fiber rear doors. Absolutely love it. You have the carbon fiber full buckets with the Recaro name looking great. And then they removed the rear seat and made this perfect size carbon fiber tray. And look at the brace that we have back here, the X brace. So the top portion is gonna stiffen up from shock top mount to shock top mount, and then we're tying in the floor. This is stuff that is taken from Honda's touring cars that race around the world, and they brought it into this street going version. And then you'll notice you still have, Steven's gonna swing in there, you still got all your cargo. And they did that on purpose because they wanna make sure that you could bring a full set of track spec wheels with track spec tires, have it in the cargo area, your jack stands, all the things for your perfect track day, because this is one of those memorable track vehicles. And I hope to God that it happens. I hope this Integra Type R happens. I want to take it for a spin. I know you want to take it for a spin. It wouldn't be much fun on the strip. We would need to go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway pronto. But what we got to do instead is we got to wrap it up here from SEMA. So let's get to it. All right, guys. I am so glad to see Honda back, especially with this whole HRC display and especially with this car here. But we got to thank the whole Honda team for allowing us access to this vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is this the Integra Type R that you've been dreaming of each and every night, hugging your pillow tight? Would you be willing to plop down the money it would take to pick one of these up? Let me know in that comment section. But you know what? What's great about Acura is, like I've been telling you, what they do on the racetrack, they bring to the production versions and vice versa. Here is actually the car that Catherine Legg, IndyCar driver, IMSA driver, actually took to Pikes Peak, the Pikes Peak hill climb, 14,000 feet up in the clouds. This is the Integra, the HRC sponsored Integra race car that she took. And just like you saw with our street going one, having that carbon fiber rear wing, having the removal of the rear side, I mean, that's stuff that is race car goodness, right? But it shows the connection to what Acura is doing. But if you're liking that car, let me know down in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. We got to thank Steven. Right now he's drooling all over himself. Steven, we'll get you a new shirt, man. Your shirt's saturated with drool. But thank you for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.